connection circle shows the parts of a system and how those parts affect one another. It creates a visual representation of how a system works. Key parts of the system that can change over time are written around a circle. These parts are then connected with arrows to show cause and effect relationships. One reason this tool is so helpful in building understanding is that it creates a focus on the relationships among parts, not just on the parts alone. The simplest way to see the power of a connection circle is to show an example of how easy it is to create one. Here's one simple story with parts that affect one another. The first step is to read the story. In the late 1950s, the World Health Organization tried to eradicate malaria-causing mosquitoes in Borneo by spraying the village areas with DDT. Soon, the palm-thatched roofs of the village houses began to collapse. The predatory fly that ate palm-eating moth larvae, which fed on the palm fronds, had been annihilated by the DDT. The dead DDT-contaminated flies were eaten by lizards that were then eaten by house cats, which also died. Soon, the disease-carrying rats began to invade the dwellings. To solve the problem, the World Health Organization dropped cats into the villages by parachute. After reading, highlight key parts that can change over time. Write up to 10 of these around the outside of a circle. You may need to choose which parts you think are most important if you highlight more than 10. Draw arrows showing cause and effect relationships. For example, as the number of mosquitoes goes up, the incidence of malaria goes up. As malaria rises, DDT is sprayed. As DDT in the environment goes up, mosquitoes, flies, lizards, and cats all go down because they're dying. Keep adding arrows showing other cause and effect links until you are satisfied that all important relationships are represented. After creating connection circles for a particular system, use them as a basis for conversation. For example, look for loops in the diagram, such as the one shown here. Mosquitoes go up, which increases malaria, which increases the DDT. The DDT decreases the mosquitoes, which decreases malaria. Of course, there are also unintended consequences, which then lead to even more disease. Another use is to compare how different people choose the elements and draw connections. Any given connection circle illustrates the beliefs or mental models of the person who draws it. Comparing circles creates an opportunity to broaden understanding. This is just one example. Create a connection circle for almost anything that has multiple parts affecting one another. For example, impacts of atmospheric CO2 on the ocean, interactions in a novel, or the effects of drought on the economy or the environment. Thank you for watching this short introduction to connection circles, brought to you by the Creative Learning Exchange.